Hi there, Loy Machedo speaking to you from loymachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo? Think personal branding. Okay. Before you watch the video, let me tell you that this video will contain a few spoilers. Okay. So if you are the type who wants to see the movie without any spoiler at all, I don't suggest you watch my video. Okay. The second one is I rarely, if ever, make movie reviews as detailed as this, but this one is going to be really like not only detailed. I wrote down the script for this. I wrote it down in the night. I got up at around 4 in the morning, and now it is 6 in the morning the following day. So if you see me looking at the screen, it's because I've really put a lot of effort and condensed it to give you the best. Okay. And last but not the least, it's this video is going to be broken down into introduction, how I came to watch the movie, what's the story in a nutshell, what I loved, what I liked, the drawbacks, the single biggest problem that totally destroyed the movie. Okay. And finally, the rating. So overall, this is going to be a very detailed movie review. And I'm hoping to give you something more than what other movie reviewers have given. They've just kept it more or less the same. So I really dug deep to give you something of value. So having said that, if you do watch the video, put your comments and let me know what do you think. Okay, I'll be very keen to know what you think. And I hope I get some interesting tidbits from your side. Okay, so let's start. Now, today, right now, the date is 15th December 2022. Okay, 15th December, 6. Now, I watched the movie yesterday, 14th December. It got released in Thailand. I stay in the island of Samui, small island, on 14th. And the only English, it's like the movies started off in the morning, but all of them were in Thai. They were not in English. So the only movie I could possibly watch in English was 7 in the evening. And mind you, I've not gone for a movie, I think, for how many years, man? 5 years? The last movie that I remember watching in some movie was The Avengers. And the only other movie after that was Star Wars. After that, I didn't feel like watching anymore. I was like, what the hell? Why should I watch a movie, man? What is there to watch on a big screen? However, when Avatar came out, Avatar got released, I was like, man, maybe I need to watch this movie because it brought back memories. Imagine this. 13 years ago, 2009, was when I saw Avatar. I was 33 years old. Today I'm 46. And I was thinking, man, I was in Dubai. I saw it there, popcorn and the excitement and the visual. It blew me out. It was like, wow. It's like, So I was like, maybe I should see this movie. Maybe really. And then again, the mystery that really hit me was the trailers that came out. It didn't tell you anything. Like if you actually see most of the movie trailers, they give out major plot lines of the story. Some of the trailers literally reveal the whole movie to you. Like for example, even the Avengers, if you see the trailers, they literally give out the best parts, the best action scenes, and they create that excitement whereby you have already seen the best parts and you want to see it again. But with Avatar, nothing made sense. They just showed you few scenes and you're like, okay, what's happening? What is the story? And then obviously the skeptic in you was, is it going to be the same? Like visually it looks the same. Is it going to be the same? So I was not very convinced. However, I decided, okay, fine. Might as well, go and see it. Let's make an exception to this. For me, Avatar Part 1 was a masterpiece, serious masterpiece. I felt James Cameron should have gotten more awards, more recognition. In fact, he missed out the Oscar. His ex-wife, I think, got Hurt Locker. She beat him to the movie. Hurt Locker was a great movie, but I felt James Cameron should have got it because it was a new concept. Nobody had used technology and the camera the way he had done it. It was unbelievable, man, what he had done. It was totally unbelievable. Just imagine you're creating a new world, new creatures, new plants, new environment, new colors. He did it all. Nobody can take that away from him. And just consider this. James Cameron is known for The Terminator. 1984, Aliens, 1986, Abyss, 1989, Terminator 2, 1991, True Lies, 1994, and Titanic, 1997. All of them hits after hits after hits. None of these movies, if you see them today also, they still are considered a masterpiece. It's like you'll just look at them, especially like Titanic. When you see Titanic, you're like, oh my goodness, what an amazing movie. If you see Terminator 2, you're like, wow. Even if you see The Abyss, even if you see Aliens, which came out in 1986, you are still like fixated. What an incredible movie. They are talking about women, strong women characters. I mean, in 1986, he came out, Sigourney Weaver, she came out with this character in Aliens. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. So he has all these worthwhile praises to his name. And then you have the highest grossing movies in the world of all time. Avatar sits as a king. $2.9 billion. Just let that sink in. Avatar is $2.9 billion. Avengers Endgame came at 2.7, but could not touch Avatar. And number 3 is once again James Cameron's Titanic. Star Wars comes at number 4. Star Wars Episode 5, 6, 7, that is The Force Awakens, 2.06. Avengers Infinity War, 2.08. So you have Avatar, which is the king, at $2.9 billion. Nobody could touch it. Okay. So, if there is a director who is the greatest, among the greatest, it would be one of them. Now, who are the directors you and I would say are the greatest? Martin Scorsese, George Lucas, Alfred Hitchcock, Steven Spielberg, Stanley Kubrick, Francis Ford Coppola, Quentin Tarantino, Christopher Nolan, Woody Allen, Guillermo del Toro, Peter Jackson, Ridley Scott. These are legends. And among them, you would always put James Cameron. Okay? So, let's agree one thing. If James Cameron made a movie, it is definitely a must watch. Okay, so that is what convinced me to go for the movie. Now, I was not sure whether this movie would be a hit. Now, this was my fear. The fear was if you go for the movie and it's a disappointment, because when you love and admire someone so much and you have this expectation, and that also expectation at such a high level, you begin to wonder, can he actually cross that? Can he actually beat it? Like, just imagine Aliens, when Aliens, Ridley Scott, when he came out with Prometheus, many people were disappointed with Prometheus. I love Prometheus, but the subsequent movies after Prometheus messed up everything. Like Gladiator, when Ridley Scott directed Gladiator, I didn't feel the movie would be a hit. When I saw the trailer, I thought it's going to be a flop. Turned out to be incredible. So many a times you admire someone so much that you want that image never to fall down. You don't want them to fail, because if they fail, you feel completely shit inside. Like, for example, the Terminator franchise. I've always loved Arnold. I've always loved his movies, but now they're just milking it for all it's worth, and they're destroying it. See what happened with the Sylvester Stallone's Rocky. Rocky, they should have stopped it at that final fight with Rocky. He's fighting this guy and as an old man, and they should have stopped it there. But then they went on with Creed, and now they have just destroyed it. Even the same thing they did with Rambo. They just went on till the point they destroyed it. Today, the Rambo, they should have stopped with the last one where he's just going back home and, he's at peace. But then they made one more where his daughter gets, daughter-like girl gets raped and killed, and then they destroyed it. Like, come on, man, why are you doing this? This is the problem with studios. They will milk a franchise till they destroy it. They've done this with so many of our old IPs like Ghostbusters, all the olden movies, So I was hoping that they don't do the same here. So that's the only reason I was slightly skeptical. Okay. So finally went there. I uploaded my 3 videos where I spoke on relationships and all that. And I just drove off there. It was rain and all that. Managed to reach there. Okay. The theater was kind of 50% full because not many people, I guess. Okay. After I sat down there, obviously I'm fasting for 24 hours, might go for 48. So I didn't take any popcorn, nothing, sitting there, feeling slightly cool. 30 minutes of all ads. I was like, man, come on. And that also, the ads were in Thai language, so I couldn't understand any of them. It was waste. And finally, the movie started after a few trailers. Okay. So now comes, what's the story? Story is simple. You have, here, be careful, slight spoilers, slight. So I'm giving a warning before you watch it. So you have Jake Scully, Sam Worthington. Okay. He's an ex-human. So now it continues from part 1, where he's married to the dynamic warrior, Zoe Saldaña. And, they have a small little family where they're happy. They have their stepdaughter, Kiri, who's also half-breed or whatever. And then they have this semi-feral human kid. I have to watch part 1 to even remember. So he's Spider. And remember, Spider is a very important character that I'll bring up later. So everything is fine. They're living as a happy family, and he's in charge of the forest, this thing as the main key alpha male, until the sky people, the human beings, come down again. And this time they want to fight, part 2. They want to get the resources where they can make money. And this guy, the Marine Colonel, who was the key character villain, Miles Quartick, played by Stephen Lang. Don't mind the pronunciation. Okay. So he's resurrected. And this time he comes as a Navi. He comes as a blue creature where he has the best, their intelligence, their speed, their agility, their strength, everything of theirs, plus the dangerous tech that humans had. So he has the best of both the worlds, which makes him a formidable enemy. So now they come, and that is where immediately, right at the beginning of the movie itself, the tension starts. And these guys, they have to, he knows if he stays in the forest, he'll destroy the forest because he wants to take revenge. His main thing is not only he wants to get the resource, but he wants to kill this guy. So in order to save them, he goes into hiding, and he meets this amphibious reef people led by Ronald, that is Kate Winslet, and Tono Vari, that is Cliff Curtis. I had to Google search who's this guy. Okay, so until now, this was a story, and then that is where the story actually starts. All right. So now, what did I love about the movie? I'll not give you more over there. Okay, so that's where I'll keep it. So what did I love about this movie? So, see, first and foremost is the movie itself. When you go there, the complete visual experience, the graphics, the animated features, the expressions, it is so real. It's unbelievable. You'll not feel as if this is CGI. You just don't feel. Like, for example, one of the worst CGIs was this is Scorpion King. Some of the CGI, you feel it's fake, but this one was so real. I just looked at it and I was like, man, this looks as real as it. And not only the facial features, not only the hair, not only the expressions, not only the nuances of the eyes, the background, the people, the environments, the grass, the air, the sunlight, the composition, the texture, the lighting. It was perfect. And just imagine, you're creating a totally new world. It's not like human beings. It's so new. And it has to be so amazing. There was not even a dot, an iota, a pixel that you would say that this is a flaw or this is imperfect. It's that perfect. In fact, the price of the ticket itself was worth the visual layout. It's like being in an aquarium. When you go to one of these underwater aquariums where you see in these some of these wonders that are there in touristy places, it just took you in another world. And when he shoots the moments in the water, man, you can actually feel the sunlight dance around. You can feel the waves. You actually feel as if you're in the water and you're moving. How did he do that? I have no idea. I can tell you this: the 13 years that he spent dev- developing this technology really shows it was too perfect. I don't think there is a single movie that comes close to the technological achievement, perfection, as much as James Cameron, the way he has done it. If you tell me that a person has spent 13 years making a movie, this would be it. It's the price that you pay for the ticket. This, if you got only this, that itself is worth it. It was that good. The lighting, texture, shot compositions, graphics, the scenery, CGI. It is a masterpiece, and I can go on this whole video just speaking about this. Okay, so this is the perfection. This is creme de la creme. Okay, so visual, it's unbelievable. The colors blue, green, neon, absolutely breathless. I mean, you just feel like, oh, just opening your mouth, just looking at it. And if it was like 360, I don't know where you would be. You'll just get sucked in into this world. Okay, so that's the first one. The other thing was the creatures and character. Each creature, it doesn't look normal. Like you'll see for example, a whale with three eyes. You'll see a fish with two gills, or you'll see hands and legs. You'll see a creature walking with maybe six arms, paws or whatever you call it. You'll see a mixed breed between a bird and a snake, and different creatures. So that itself takes so much. Just imagine every creature you need to have a concept drawing. Every grass, blade, tree, environment. He has focused so much. It reminded me of George Lucas focusing on Star Wars. Every character was drawn. Every, whether they are dressed, whether they are color, whether their behavior, whether the way they walk, the way they talk, the sound that comes out. I mean, it's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And that too, it's not just he created a creature of namesake. You feel connected. You feel an emotion with every creature. And, the brilliance is the Navi people, they have certain characteristics, their fingers, their arms, the way they are built. Then the amphibious reef people, they look the same, but they are still different. It's unbelievable when you compare both of them. You look at their arms, you look at their fingers, you look at their shoulders, you look at their neck, you look at their eyes, and everything makes sense. Like, why would someone have glassy big eyes versus small eyes? Why would someone have a long neck versus a short neck? Why would someone have really big arms or massive forearms versus smaller forearms? Why would someone's tail be like a thin with the hair at the end? Another one would be like a fish kind of salamander. So everything was thought about, and even the humans, and every species or race. There's a different color. Even the human beings. There was very metallic and orange and red and gray colors, and it was different from the Navi. It was different from the amphibious people who had green, like bottle green. So everything was well thought of, and perfection is, I don't know how much to state there. All right. Imagine, I can still go on, but I have to stop myself. It is that perfect. So praise to James Cameron for this and his team. The next one, which is a masterpiece, is the action scene. Man, for a guy who made Terminator 2, who made Aliens, who gave you True Lies, here the action is the best of all these worlds, including Star Wars, including Avenger Endgames. You mix it all up, you'll get this. The action sequence itself, I think 30 to 45 minutes, you'll just go, oh, what's happening? I couldn't stop. One time you look here, next time you look there, then you look there. Then time just passes by. And the way the editing is so tight, so compact. 1 minute something is happening to the hero's son. Next minute something is happening to his wife. Third minute something is happening to this guy. Fourth minute. And everything is so interwoven and so closely knit. And the way he has cut from here to there, to there, to there, it was perfect. Okay, it was really, but there was an issue which I'll tell you about later. Okay, imagine being awestruck for 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, your eyes don't leave the screen. You don't even move. Many times I wanted to take my phone just to put down my thoughts, just to put, character, but I was like, so it's, if, the second half of the movie itself is like another movie in itself. All right. So the action sequence is, get ready for a wild ride. Now comes, okay, this is what I loved. But now, what did I like? Okay, not as much as loved it. What I liked is the story is simple. It's a very simple story, very simple premise, very powerful family message. The message is directed more towards the family, and it's a message that even a child can understand, even an adult can understand. The central theme is family values, keeping a family together, the father kind of son role, the daughter mother role, um, save the environment, save the forest, uh, treat creatures with compassion. Those simple messages, and each one can take a different message altogether. In part one of Avatar, it was protect the forest. In part two, it's protect the oceans and the whales. And the emotional connection that he was able to develop with the whale and that creature, whale of Avatar, I mean, it it was really brilliantly done. It takes a special kind of a genius person to make you connect to a creature that also which is CGI. Very well done. Very, very well done. Okay. In the first movie, it was a mineral called unobtainium, and now it's an exceller that you get from the whales. Okay. And the way he put it across that whales are smarter creatures, they have more emotions, more feelings, and yet human beings are killing them just for money. That was a very powerful message that at least left a imprint in my mind. The editing was tight; it kept you towards the edge, and yes, there were these plot holes which were there, but then again, you still stuck along. Okay, so the message is good. There's something to take away for each and everyone in the family. Now comes the drawbacks. Now comes the, oh man, why did you do this? Okay. Number one is too many characters, just too many. I mean, I was looking at Scully, then I remembered, okay, Nefertari, whatever, that female. Then suddenly I remembered, okay, this general, he's come back. Then there were these new characters. Okay, his son is here, then second son is there, then daughter is there, then this guy is there. Then that creatures from the sea, the amphibious creatures, one and two. There's so many characters, and then you're trying to piece each one. And then what happens is you don't actually get close to anyone. You get distracted with so many. The second thing is I didn't feel any character really stood out. Yes, the female heroine, whatever. What is her name? Let me get her name. Ah, that female. See, Zoe Saldaña. Okay, Nietri. Okay, she stood out. Okay, she stood out. But then again, it's not like really stood out. Even Sam Worthington, the main hero, he was okay. So you don't know who it is. You just feel like it's a story for all the main characters. Okay. In fact, even the youngsters who played an important role, the sons, you don't actually feel too close to them. And then I think maybe because of the CGI, uh, you didn't actually feel one with them. I don't know what it was. There were just too many characters and too many people, too much of screen time with too many issues, too many problems. So you didn't connect with anyone. And it became confusing. You're like, okay, who's this and who's this and what is she? And like Kate Winslet could be that female character, but you didn't feel that she's actually Kate Winslet. Okay. The dialogues were, the dialogues were very bland and boring and terrible. Sometimes I was like, oh, come on, man. It's so stupid. I can't remember what the character. And the humor was flat. It was totally like, you cracked a joke and like, did anyone notice this? And sometimes some people just laugh. And then, the typical college, kids fighting with each other and the tension of bullying and this and that, that was also there. So I didn't feel the strength was in the dialogues and the character. Okay. And one major drawback here is Sigourney Weaver, who is supposed to be a very senior person. I don't know why did they use a voiceover for a young small girl. That was a total distraction. Like, why? You could have just had someone else. I just scratching my head. It just left me distracted. Okay. So now these are the drawbacks, but now comes the biggest problem, and this is the main issue that just pulled me out of the experience. If this was not there, it would have been at least perfect. And now this can be a major spoiler. So I'm warning you before you watch it. Okay. So what was it? Man, that character Spider, who is a human being, it's like what I couldn't understand what was the logic in what he's doing. See, like for example, if you're a good guy, you'll do good. If you're a bad guy, you'll do bad. The the rules are very clearly defined. Good guy will do good, bad guy will do bad. Sometimes, let's say, for example, Saving Private Ryan, a guy is meant to be a good guy. That soldier who was supposed to be supporting this thing, and he's a coward. When there's a fight between two soldiers, especially towards the ending, he stabs him with a knife. He was supposed to protect him, but he was so afraid to shoot the gun, and then he kills his own best friend. So, if he was a coward, I can't remember the name of the character, but I'm sure if you remember, that stabbing scene, it's a very graphic scene which you'll never forget if you saw it. So that guy who had the gun to protect his friend and save him, but he was too scared because, that's what it. So if the character was a coward, I would understand. But here the guy is, remember, I'm giving you a spoiler. The guy is supposed to be a hero, but then he is not a hero. He is brave, but he's a coward. He's loyal to the hero, then he's loyal to the villain, then he's friends with the hero, then, because he's a family person, then he's friends with the villain. I just couldn't understand, like, what the hell are you trying to say, man? Is he this or is he that? One time it's like he's loyal to his father, not real father, like made up father or whatever. Then he's loyal to this guy who is another character, and he's supposed to be his father. Then one time he is using the bad guy to betray him, and then he is trying to kill him. I was like, what are you doing, man? And towards the ending, every 5 minutes, he's changing his loyalty, he's changing his sides. It was so bad. The script was so bad in terms of his character. I'm not even exaggerating. I from watching the movie reaction, I got distracted. I was like, I snapped out of it. And when you snap out of a movie and you are not paying attention, finished. The movie is a flop. I was so disappointed. I was so upset. I wish they didn't have that. I really wish. I wish they had changed that. I don't know how they could have watched the movie, how James Cameron could have watched and not known that this is such a bad execution, man, of a character. And then the ending, the ending was just a disaster of, like, it was so explicit in your face. The reason he's having this illogical ending is just to make part 3. It's like both characters died and both characters came to life, and then they wouldn't have lived. It was like the Abyss and Titanic. They wouldn't have lived, but they lived. Remember when Leonardo DiCaprio was freezing in the water and Kate Winslet was up there? I think it was Kate Winslet. Yeah, I can't remember her name. And then you begin to ask, why didn't he jump onto the raft? There was place. There was place for 2 people. That was the argument we had in the Titanic. Like, he could have just jumped up, but he chose to remain in the water freezing and he died. Yeah, okay, fine. It made for an emotional ending. But you see the illogical bit over there. In the same way, this movie has this illogical bit where one is this guy good or bad? You still can't figure it out. And the second one is, both the hero and the villain die, and then they come back to life, and they're going to die again, and they come back to life. And what are you doing, man? And towards the ending, they just messed it up. It was a complete, utter mess. The last, I think, 5 minutes destroyed the whole experience. I was so disappointed. It was like, man, it was so explicit and it was confusing. And I just felt he did it just to make part 3. And why I'm disappointed? It's like the movie was up here and it was up here and it went up and it was going to be the greatest of all time. In the last 5 minutes, you just messed it up and flopped the whole thing. It's like you could have stopped it there and left me feeling like, hurrah, but you destroyed it. See, overall, not to bash up the movie, but overall, see, James Cameron, look at it this way. James Cameron is 68 years old, going to be 70, okay? And when you are at that, just imagine, you and I can't even think of being 70 years old. When you come to 70, you have done it all, achieved everything. You just have a legacy to leave. But at the same time, you want to make sure you have your last money day before you retire. Before your senses or you're so old that you can't direct any movie. Unlike Clint Eastwood, who's 98 or whatever and still directing movies. So James Cameron, yes, he has to leave. He wants to leave a legacy. He wants to leave timeless classics, or which people will still talk about. People still talk about, Avatar 1. So that is there. But at the same time, he wants to make a movie. But at the same time, when you're a director, you have to keep stakeholders happy. You have to keep the studios happy. You have to keep investors happy. You have to keep so many people happy. And you have to have, like in his case, he wants to have a part 3 and part 4 or part 5. So there are too many balls to juggle. And because of this, I think that is where you're bound to make a mistake. When you have too many people to keep happy, you can't keep everyone happy. Or you can keep few and not the rest. Or maybe you'll have to keep everyone not 100%, but at 96 or 90, whatever. So that is where he faltered. And I think the major area where he faltered, if not keeping everyone happy, was the ending, because he wanted to make part 3 and part 4 and part 5. Okay. And it seems that he's already finished shooting, which is another shocking thing, with making it the most expensive movie. So, given the fact that he has experience with space, like the space shots that he had in the movie, is because of his experience in Aliens. The water shots in the water was from Abyss. Action sequence, Terminator and True Lies. And then, given the fact that he used the technology of part 1 into part 2 after 13 years of perfection, this movie was wow. Okay, this movie was wow. And I think one of the biggest areas where I'll respect him is the fact that he didn't appeal to the woke audience, making it like a feminist kind of movie and the hero is the female and the males are weak. He didn't do that. I'm really glad he didn't have that message, LGBTQ and gay and this and that. No, nothing. He kept it perfectly as it is. So when if I were to just evaluate in a nutshell, I would say this is a movie that you must watch in a theater. The price that you pay for the ticket, even if you see the first 20 minutes, it's worth your money. The visual layout is creme de la creme. It's a masterpiece. It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. The experience of watching the perfection of technology in a storytelling format with creativity, with design, with characterization, man, it was brilliant. And the action scenes, out of the world. He has really given us more than what we can ask for. Okay. And he's a one-time director, once in a lifetime, like those greats I gave you, like Stanley Kubrick or Spielberg or, name it, like Christopher Nolan. So if Avatar, when I saw Avatar 1, I would say it was a 10 out of 10 or even 11 out of 10. I would have given this movie the same 11 out of 10. I would have even said this is 12 out of 10 had it not been for the last 5 minutes. But because of that, I had to bring it down to, I even thought of giving it, 7.5 out of 10. I was like, nah, come on, man. So much of effort. I said 8. I said, but he has put so much effort. So finally I said, okay, fine. We'll give it a, 9. Because I still love James Cameron, his work. And so around, you could say 8, 8.5. I'm disappointed. Honestly, I feel bad giving it a 8.5. I want to give it a 12 out of 10. I know it sounds illogical. How can you give 12 out of 10? It means 10 out of 10, perfection. But then I have to literally like stab myself in the heart and say, I have to be fair. So 8.5 out of 10. So overall, this is a masterpiece. It's a great movie. It's a movie you must watch in the theater. And maybe I might watch it again when it comes out as a DVD. I don't know if I'll watch it in the theater. It's too long. It's really too long. And I don't know. Okay. But this is one of those rare movies. But it's an unforgettable movie. It's a movie you must watch. And it is a movie that people will talk for a long, long time to come. Long time. And I can assure you this much. The online debate whether Avatar is great or Avatar they made a mistake will still continue. And I see it going on for quite some time. And yes, I am definitely excited for part 3. And I think I would go to the theater for part 3, and I hope it does a better job, part 4 and part 5. And as long as James Cameron makes a movie that is as timeless as this, I think I'll always watch it. Anyway, this was my detailed review for all you guys. It's around 35 minutes. Okay, I never thought it'll be so long. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts, good, bad, ugly, whatever you say. Put your comments, and do check out the concept drawing for Avatar Part 3, Part 4, and Part 5. I'll leave you spellbound. So until next time, you guys, let me know what you think. This is me signing off. You guys take care.